Hi, so we're back from the Home Depot and we are going to start on our Mickey head. Now I've printed out the template that we actually have on our webpage, and it printed out on several pages. And when you print out the template, you're definitely going to want to turn off the front back 2-page feature on your printer because you don't want it printed on the back. And so I'm going to show you the next step for cutting out your Mickey head. Okay, so I've got my printouts and it's like a little puzzle. I need to figure out what goes where. All right, so 4 pieces for the head and then the pants. I'm going to set the pants aside. Oh, I think it's like this. Oh, here we go. It's looking a little better now. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm going to actually overlap the pages just a bit so that my lines match up. So you can see it lines up right there, and I'm going to tape it. All right, and I'm going to do the same right here so the lines touch and overlap. And then my last piece goes right there. And so each one overlaps the others by about a ½ inch. All right, so I've got my Mickey head, and now I'm going to use one of the options with some tracing paper, which you can use as well. If you don't want to use tracing paper, the other option is to actually, at this point, cut the Mickey head out and then use it as your template to trace onto the wood. So I have my piece of plywood here. It's 4 feet by 2 feet. And I'm going to place my Mickey head here in the corner so that I use just a portion and I'm saving the rest for other Mickeys that we're going to make. I did go ahead and cut my Mickey head down just so I had a smaller piece of paper to work with, and I added some tape. All right, here is my tracing paper, and this will get your hands dirty, so make sure you wear your nice clothes for this next step. All right, I'm going to place it down here just in the corner, and then angle my Mickey head just like so. All right, and then I'm going to start tracing the Mickey head. All right, and I'm going to press firmly to transfer the line to the piece of wood. All right, I've got my jigsaw that I'm going to use to cut out my Mickey head. And I'm going to cut a nice big circle around it first just to give me a smaller piece of wood to work with. Okay, for this next part, as I cut, I'm going to want to stay as close as I can to the line. There may be some points where I have to stop cutting and then come at a different angle, and that's totally fine. You just want to take your time. I'm also going to use a nice heavy workbench to press down on to help support the weight and minimize the vibrations. Getting closer to looking like Mickey. Okay, so I've got this rough cut Mickey out of my plywood, and this is where he's real splintery, and we're going to need to sand all of these edges to make it smooth. And then also where maybe I got a little off the line while I was cutting, we're going to smooth these circles out, so we're going to make it look nice and smooth. Okay, for sanding our Mickey, I'm going to use some sandpaper, and I'm going to sand it by hand. This is 120 grit, and basically that number the smaller the number, the coarser the sandpaper. 120 is a relatively coarse sandpaper. Once you get higher numbers, that's for really, really fine pieces of wood. But we're just going to use 120 just to get the big chunks of splinters off the edge so that we don't have splinters on the Mickey Cruise. All right. And I'm just going to hold the sandpaper like this and just go along the edges. To get into these cracks or corners, sometimes it's helpful to fold your sandpaper into half to kind of get into the corner on both sides. All right, so now looking at my Mickey, I see that there's a couple spots that need just some circular rounding. And so I'll continue to work on that with sanding. All right, now we've got this great Mickey head, smooth sides, and now really you can do anything you want with it. You can paint it however you want. I'm going to show you how to do just his traditional red pants and yellow buttons. All right, I'm going to cut out the Mickey pants so that I know where to put this on the Mickey head. If you want a 3D looking Mickey pair of pants, you could actually create another pair of pants and cut it out of wood, which we do that sometimes. But for today, I am just going to paint it on. And so I want to make sure that this distance is about the same. Right now his pants are on crooked. Here we go. That looks about right. Yeah? All right, and so I'm going to trace a line here for the top of his pants so I know where to paint the red and where to paint the black. And then I'm going to slip some of my tracing paper under here so that I know where to put the buttons and where to paint the buttons. Here we go. Whoops, I got a little off the line there. Let me redo that and I'll know it's the bottom line. That's a little better. And the other button. Okay, let's see how that looks. Okay, so now we know where his pants go.